Hi, welcome back to Two
One
Kims.
pod.
I am your co-host,
Yeah,
Unji Kim.
I'm your co-host, Peter Kim.
Welcome back. We're hot off another episode. We're talking about the Riyadh
Comedy
Comedy Festival.
Festival.
And
Yes,
before we ended that episode, Peter was mentioning someone he needed to talk about.
that's right. So we're right on back. Thank you so much for coming back. I need to. Well, you and I really went into a deep dive of, and I'm glad that you were talking about this because it's oftentimes these things come up. Just for context, we are talking about Riyadh Comedy Festival in Saudi Arabia that all these top comedians were paid buku bucks to go to, and there is a conversation online about what is your integrity worth? Are you standing by a regime that shuts down, human rights, etc.? Um, and what does that mean about us as people who are not being offered buku bucks? Even the small chum change, are we standing up? Is that a way to live? And how do we look at our progeny
Hmm.
and say that we were proud
Yeah.
and a role model?
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, I do think someone is having a little bit of trouble because of how they stood. And
Ooh.
talking about Theo Vaughn.
Okay.
So there have been a lot of trigger warning, self harm. There have been a lot of videos circulating online of Theo Vaughn's Netflix taping. Have you
Okay.
seen this?
No.
I'm breaking this news to you. Oh my
Yes.
God, Unji, it's crazy. Okay, so there have been clips all over the internet about Theo Vaughn stopping his special multiple times to go backstage because he kept forgetting where his jokes were going and his punchlines. And he kept going backstage to ask his opener, like, how does this joke end? What's the next bit? What comes after this? Like he was honest about it. He kept like, fuck guys, blah blah, whatever.
Hmm.
And he would start a story and then he would like meander and sit down and be like, dude, what the fuck's your name? And then like start
Hmm.
talking to someone because he's not, it's his taping. Okay, his
Okay.
Netflix taping. So he's having a fucking mental breakdown. And then at the end of this is what sparked this thing because at the end during his like little meet and greet like photos, this guy was like, "Hey, come on, man! Like, what the fuck was up with that?" And he was like, "I'm sorry, dude. Like, I'm having a hard month. Like, this is the best I could do. I'm trying not to
Yeah.
unlive myself.
Whoa.
I'm really trying my hardest not to." And someone caught that, like, on camera, like recording him saying that to someone, and that's gone everywhere. And there's been now people, of course, internet sleuths are going around saying like, "Oh, people keep." Joe Rogan recently mentioned him. It's like Theo's such a great guy. I'm so happy he's my friend. He is such a good because people are saying that he's like reaching out, being like, I'm not feeling good. I'm gonna hurt myself,"
Yeah.
and he's literally saying it out loud. So, and not in a joking. This was after the show, like to a fan trying to take a picture. Yes. So, all that being said,
That's so
a
dark.
dark, but in context, maybe light. In that, I think he's struggling with the fact that his clip of like, heard you got deported, bro, bye. You know,
Hmm.
that the
Yeah.
DHS was using it
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
he said,
Uh-huh.
stop using it.
Yes.
That combined with his lead up and interviewing Trump and all that, I think is fucking with him because I think Theo, I believe, this is my opinion. I want to hear yours.
Hmm.
I think he's a good dude, like a sweet guy. And he's what, like we talked about last episode, unaware and underread and ignorant.
Hmm.
Ergo, tussling with, remember Jimmy Kimmel was
Yes. Yes.
tussling
Yes.
Trump's hair. And we're like, what the fuck are you doing? Um, this is a similar thing. Like he just wasn't aware how dangerous that was to use his platform to put him on there. And I think he is seeing the ramifications of this administration just basically using him to do whatever the fuck they're doing, i.e., their DHS video, etc. And I think he's going down a very bad shame hole.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I know he's conservative, but I know him not to be an asshole. And,
Yes.
and I think he's seeing what's happening. Like Rogan and a lot of that Rogan sphere is seeing what's happening and they're going, whoa, whoa, that's not what we signed up for. We signed up for like owning the libs, the blue hair non binaries. I thought we were going to make them go back to being boys. Like, what's all, why are we rounding people up and what's happening? Like, this feels like Germany.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
they're finally, like we were there 10 years ago going, hello, hello. And they were like, snowflakes, you fucking snowflakes. I think they are now, as you said in the last episode, there's a turning on happening.
Hmm.
I think people like Theo are turning on to, uh, uh, oh, what did I just do?
And that he's being haunted by the way in which he's been complicit.
Not just internally, but from the outside.
Oh, he's hearing what people are saying finally. Because
He's
people have been saying
finally
this,
hearing it. But you know
but the
how
way,
they're like, I don't read stuff. I don't blah blah.
sure,
You know
sure,
how they're
sure.
all like that? They're like, oh, haters, whatever the fuck. I think it's finally like crept in and he's understanding the level of what's happening.
I mean, I do wonder, honestly, I do wonder if there's a part of it where, at least with Rogan and Theo and all these people, like you have to also understand that they they're occupying a place of privilege insofar as that they're like these white men and blah blah blah. So like the sort of the imminent danger that other people felt, they didn't feel as
Correct.
acutely. So in their
Correct.
mind, they're like, "Oh, we're all equal. So why are y'all freaking
Correct.
out?" It's
DEI. What the
actually
fuck are you?
what
Yeah.
the yes, we're all the same anyway. Because the thing is, because
Correct.
it's not coming from their like they think they're better than. They're saying that we are already the same. You're asking for
Right.
more. You're
Correct.
asking for more of the pie when we're all getting the same amount of pie. And
Correct.
and now they're seeing subsequent, right? That oh no, they don't even have pie.
This bitch got a brownie,
Yes,
if that.
it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's got a cookie. She's got an M&M, and he just didn't. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh
they
shit,
they just didn't know.
no, he
You
just
know
didn't
what
know.
really helped me dawn on this is I recently saw a Chelsea Handler podcast with
Mm-hmm.
Sam Morrill,
Mm-hmm.
and she was talking about how much she hated men and blah blah. And he's like, "So why are we paying for like the good men also have to pay?" And she's like, "Yeah, you all pay. You fucking
Yeah.
all of you did
Yeah.
this." And he was like, "Okay, well, I was just trying to get laid." And she goes, "Yeah, I understand now that like maybe most of you were just that dumb."
Mm-hmm.
And I have to come to terms as a woman that you as a man, it took this much of us like like berating into your head,
Mm-hmm.
and some of you still don't get it. And that's why I was like, I was operating under the impression that they got it and they just hated us.
Right. No, I think I did understand to a certain extent that they simply did not, they could not internalize because their perception of reality was so insofar as like, surely we're all, ex
Level playing field.
because also we're all, it's not like these men were in a position where like, I'm doing great. Right? They're like, it was the
Correct.
idea that we're all struggling. We're all
Struggling.
doing the same thing together. We're all shoveling the same amount of shit.
Yeah.
And I can see you shoveling the shit, but you can see me shoveling the shit too. So yeah. But so it's not as necessarily as malicious or nefarious as all that. And so far, it's much more that they were simply unawares, right? Because how can they know our reality if they don't know the reality?
And they're not reading. because if
They're
you
not
just read books, you understand other people's realities.
sure. I mean, I think that you can understand a little bit, but there's a little bit of this, and I'm not trying to victim blame at all here, but I do think there is a part of it where the conversation, not just within feminism and within like with all like sort of like people like this around race, there is something about it where we haven't onboarded people
Yeah.
in a way where we're baking in empathy. There is a lot of shame. There's a lot of guilt that we're giving, right?
Yeah.
That's like how they understand. Whereas if we were onboarding people and they were able to experience more empathy and understand the reality in a different way, I think this conversation would feel different. But because they've been shamed and they've been
Yes.
guilted onto this,
But that's
right?
okay for Asians. That's our modus operandi.
Yes.
Okay. The whites, they've been going to therapy. They do the empathy. The whites aren't showing the empathy to the whites. That's
Yes.
the issue. It's because
Yes.
the left whites are going, you guys are bad without doing the work internally to understand. They just like are putting the guilt on some other version of white so that
Mm-hmm.
they feel clean about it instead of actually understanding the work it takes to fucking deal with racism. So like that's the whole it just boggles the mind because like no one's really doing any of the work and then the the right whites are mad at all of us, but it's the left whites that are making them feel bad.
Because the idea that, and again, with going back to Theo as the example, the idea that somehow language, right, and that these sort of trappings of liberal wokeism, right, that they can't participate in and like all this stuff, like, oh yeah, who cares about the DEI, like the language about stuff, it's all stupid. Yes,
Yeah.
because admittedly, it is means nothing. The things that actually do matter, right? Which is he's realizing that the words and the way that he was acting now make him complicit in are like things around real danger, things
Yep.
around like real rights, the things around the stuff. But even inside of like woke white people, that's not the conversation.
Well,
Like, dude,
that's exactly my point.
yes,
Is that
yes.
they don't understand the conversation. They just act like they do and then point at the other guys. It's
So now
just as
Theo,
bad.
and
So
so
like,
Theo's like confused because he's like,
right.
well, I'm not
I'm
actually
not
these things,
that.
but
Right.
now I'm being used in this way.
Right.
Oh
Oh
shit.
fuck. I didn't realize what I just did.
And like
That's
also
got to be
there's
a fucking imagine that.
to be
Imagine
and
you are so unaware that you are thinking about harming yourself.
I mean, I will say that there is also,
I'm sure
at
there's
least
drugs
with,
involved and whatever, but
and I do think that at least with him, there's such a level of isolation that occurs around that kind of fame and um like
yeah.
podcasting ultimately, the way that he does it, you know, even us, like it is pretty isolating, right? You're just talking to this one person for a long time and then you go and you do your spot and blah blah blah. Like it's not, you're
Oh,
not,
speaking of
yeah.
spots, that's another thing I am maybe wondering is that that coupled with his Netflix special coming up
Hmm.
and the inordinate pressure on someone to deliver on a special already is crazy. But with all that stuff happening in the political sphere with him,
Hmm.
on top of that, guarantee where does he live? Nashville or
Yeah.
yeah, he's not going out and doing spots. He's not that type of comic.
No.
He's the type to go up and just wing it via persona and vibes. And
Hmm.
now he's understanding even maybe that's even dawning on him. It's like, oh, I'm not even a good enough comedian.
I mean, that would be
That would make me kill.
yes. I mean, that is devastating. But I also think that there's like, that's actually crazy
That's
to
even
realize.
worse.
But also, I mean, let's be like, let's put it all into context here as well. There was this run that Marin just went on where, and his special where he's calling
Oh
him out
yes.
by
By
name.
name.
He's
Oh fuck.
calling,
I forgot about that Unji.
he's
That
calling,
oh my god, you're
he's, he's
right.
calling out his name. He's by name
Yes.
and being
Yes.
called to.
And it was pretty fucking savage and on point.
and being called to explain, being called to like now what?
Oh my God, I forgot that he was called out by Mark Maron.
By
Oh
name
my
inside of a
God.
special, not even just on podcast, on a special.
On a special, and
He's doing an
also the
imitation.
godfather of podcasting.
Yeah. For having no scruples, for leaning into it, for having no
Oh
like
my God.
wherewithal.
I'm like trembling right now thinking about it.
But also, on Theo's, he recently had Louis on.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know where like it is inside of like when they filmed or when it was recorded or whatever, but to me, it felt sort of like a pointed way to like point back to Marin because Louis kind of famously like there is a now they're not
Beef.
there's beef, right,
Yeah.
between the two of them, very famously post his quote unquote cancellation,
Uh-huh.
right? He didn't show up. And, you know, like there was something there where I was like, okay, so Louis is trying to be on his thing and they're talking about what a good comic he is and like all these things about around like what it means to be canceled, what it is to, as a comic. Louis
Wait,
was
did that
giving,
come out already?
yeah, it
Oh,
came
I
out like a
didn't.
week ago.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
long. It's not, has not been out long, right?
Okay, do they
So,
talk about the Marin thing?
no,
Oh.
that's what I mean. So it felt like very, like,
Did he
in
try to and Louis didn't? Or
no, no. It was really more about like Louis was giving Theo his flowers about like the stand up and kind of like how he is a comic and he has like a unique way of speaking and talking about things and how he as a comic is giving voice to a very specific type of blue
to the
collar.
voiceless? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that felt kind of pointed to me anyway, because that is, I think, in Theo's mind, was always his intent, right? The idea that he is giving voice to the non-woke
Elitist. Yeah.
elitists,
Yeah.
um, giving voice to like non-elitist people that live among in a diverse
Everyday
group
lives. Yeah.
that do
Yeah.
everyday lives. They are living a diverse and blue collar life, but they cannot use and do not have the wherewithal to use this sort of woke language because it is actually, and none of these people are actually racist. None of these people are actually any of these things, but they just use the wrong words.
Things. Yeah.
Yeah, just like me, Theo Vaughn.
Yeah.
That was sort
Yeah.
of the idea,
I get it. He's the
but
everyman.
he's every man, right? Like the funny sort of like that guy. And also there is a part of him that's supposed to be the like the what is it? The when like a idiot savant,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
a part of him that like leans into this idea. Um
May I
yeah.
suggest something?
Mhm.
I didn't watch the Louis thing. I will watch it. I think Louis probably has a good point about you are a comic. You just have a different delivery.
Yes.
Now, I think the reason I'm just thinking out loud here, but there are a lot of vibey comics
Yes.
that tend to be less liberal,
Hmm.
and I wonder if that's a coincidence, meaning that if you are practicing writing
Hmm.
jokes
Sure.
and understanding point of view and joke structure and relating to a general audience,
Hmm.
generally comedy is progressive because you're punching up.
Right.
You're you're trying to crack power.
Hmm.
So generally it points progressive. I'm not saying there isn't conservative comedy, But when you just look at comedy in general,
Sure.
it's moving forward, not backwards.
I will say I do think some of the conversation, like a lot of the conservative comedy movement that has kind of arisen um, recently, I think does sort of point to the this like it was something it's an Ezra Klein thing that I know is whatever a hot button person right now, but if right after the election, he
Mm,
had a guy on that spoke to the fact that the entrenched power inside of like the institutional power in our country nowadays has actually been pretty liberal,
mm,
right? It's like the HR departments, it's the academia, like all these things are pretty like liberal,
mm,
right? Around language and these things. And that has become the actual entrenched power structure. So
mm.
that's why a lot of these like conservative comics that go against that, it's
Are
because that's why it
they
works.
feel like it's punching up? Like, oh, you fucking
It's your
readers?
boss. It's your boss, right? The fact that you can't say these things, that's your boss. That's the fact that you can't do XYZ. It's the dean of your school. You
Right,
can't do
but that
this.
I get that, but there you got to be real undereducated then, because
And that's how a lot of these that's what's happening in the country right now. To
right,
be
and
fair.
yeah, I think that is what's happening because
Hmm.
if you extrapolate that, that's like saying like, oh, I can't hit a woman. Why? Oh, that's my ball. Oh, I can't. Oh, you can't hit women.
Right,
Oh,
right, right.
you
Right.
can
I mean, it's
extrapolate that to hell. You know what I mean? So like, you only if you're uh, again, it's education. So
mhm,
like, if you are educated, you are liberal because there's not. It's like saying the same thing about the Riyadh Comedy Festival, like last episode. Like,
mhm.
you have to be really like blissfully unaware and undereducated to not see how that would be a problem. Like, taking that would be a problem. You know,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I also think that there is some place inside of this that um since the 90s, for example, I would say like the late 90s, since sort of like Clinton post, all that stuff, like with sexual harassment, these things, where there has now been a section of commentary and comedy that like occupies that sort of like troll contrarian space,
mm,
right? Like, because when you think about even when like the nascent parts of stand-up comedy in the 60s and 70s, that doesn't exist because the overarching culture is actually pretty conservative, right?
mm.
So they're pushing that. Whereas 90s, 2000s, there's like the institutional structure there. I'm not saying that they're progressive, but they're liberal. The ideas
Like
are liberal.
neoliberal.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Yes.
yes, yes. I get that. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what these conservative droves are punching up against. But that
Because it's
is
actually institutional.
yes,
Yes.
yes. But that's not actually progress. That's them, but in a different flavor. Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, they don't get that like neoliberalism, it's just conservatism in a different light. Like, it's just white people, it's white guilt at the end of the day, and monetizing that and like
Yes.
weaponizing it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And that doesn't affect any of us at all, me and you. Like, it does because they're still in power. And if white guilt can be manipulated by us, then sure. But like, it's still just weaponized for other whites.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, it's whites
Hmm.
weaponizing against other whites. Like, I'm rarely going around being like, you know, white people, I should be in the front of the line. Like, I don't even have a leg to stand on to like say that, like, I can punch up and say, hey, it's still a white fucking country led by white straight men who are pretending not to be gay,
Hmm.
but like, it's not, I'm never going to be able to wield that guilt towards someone, a white person in power.
Yes, I will say that I think some of the way in which people, the way that I think I try to wield it is that I think that there is a way to have white people take accountability
Yeah.
where their foolhardiness in thinking that the liberalism and guilt is somehow the same as
Mm.
actual change,
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
right? So then having them understand that that actually is meaningless,
Right. Unless you
right?
do
Like
something.
unless you do something, and that it
Yeah.
actually is like all this hollow stuff. And I do think that there's some, at least my set right now, there's like this weird space where both liberals and like true progressives find it very like they find relief in it because they're like, yes, finally, right? This is truth. And then conservatives that also feel the same way because the hypocrisy of it is what is being highlighted.
Right.
And that's
And
what
that
both people, yes,
we could agree on all that. And that's
yes,
neoliberalism to the T.
yes.
It's just hypocrisy and being like, "Oh, well, we're not them." It's so much of like what I experienced in the Midwest too. It's like, "Oh, we're not racist. We just like live in different neighborhoods completely carved out by highways." It's like, "What?"
What are the chances,
Yeah.
right?
This is just where I went to
Weird.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
crazy.
that
Yeah.
that is worse. That is way worse than what Theo Von is like saying like stupidly, about like trans people. Like it's just by numbers. If you want to take it by numbers, there's how many trans people in the world? 7. Like
Mhm.
how many black people are in Chicago? 8 billion. Like
Yeah.
it just doesn't. Yeah, like let's. Sir Chappelle does have a point in that. Where it's like, hey, he says it wrong, but I do agree with the sentiment of like, we haven't even fixed Black America.
Sure.
We haven't even fixed women.
But I mean, there's the thing is like at least with Chappelle, the way that he's going about it and the way that I think people like, so there's this like idea, it's a very specific word inside of public policy around the idea that if we are bringing up the lowest, that as we bring them up, that others are now being uplifted, right? Like when
Rising
ADA
tides.
comply, yeah, was it?
Rising tides.
Yeah, but it's like specifically in public policy where it's like, the ADA compliance with cut curbs, for example, at sidewalks,
Mm-hmm.
right? They ultimately actually made things easier for mothers as well with strollers, right? So that's like the unintended good of this thing
Benefits.
where you benefits of like targeting
Uplifting. Yeah.
and going after like the most marginalized small group,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that there's all these other unattended
Effects.
benefits.
Yeah.
Yes.
Agreed. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, like, absolutely, at least with the trans, like, because with gender affirming care, then ultimately, then there's like women with who have breast cancer and all these things that also get this sort of care
Benefit.
available to, yeah, benefit them. But I will say that at least with the Theo of it all, like, thinking that it is making him spiral in this way is very dark.
Yeah.
And I do think that I wonder if he is the canary,
Hmm.
if he's the first
What do you
one that's
mean?
that I wonder if there'll be other
Who
conservative
like?
who kind of fucking start getting it. Because I
Oh,
wonder, because I 100% am certain there will be some that double down, that say, no,
Tony
I'm actually,
Hinchcliffe.
yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
double down. I'm going to do this. I'm going to stay closeted. And like,
Yes.
actually, you will never find out. Like
Yeah.
this
No, I'm taking it to the grave.
this hole is so clenched.
Yeah.
And that's why it's that Hinchcliffe. It's so clenched. And then like, but I do think that there will be certainly as like the climate shifts in this way,
Uh-huh.
right? That there will be the others that come over because that is what good comics feel compelled to do. That's
Yeah.
what it is, right? Like it just becomes undeniable at a certain point. So then it's like, yeah, we gotta fucking You know, like if you're talking to two people who have no scruples and like in terms of money have always moved, and then now I'm talking and moving in this way, yeah, things are different.
If Eunji Kim could change, then any of you can change.
You know what I mean? If I'm like
Yeah.
thinking about scruples, I'm thinking about the morality of shit, I'm thinking about my own integrity. Yeah, honey, things are
Yeah.
different.
I
Like
know
shit is
you had
dark
to
out
go and
here.
have two children. That you
Yeah.
fucked up. You really did fuck up because if you didn't, you would really be living for yourself. Are you
And,
kidding? Are you kidding?
but also, how about this? If I was and I didn't, I would just be another villain out here. I'd just be another like
Yeah, a fucked up
dangerous,
bitch.
yeah, just another dangerous human out in these
Yeah.
streets looking out for herself and
Uh-huh.
really giving no
Uh-huh.
fucks
Yeah,
and being
yeah.
I mean being a villain, full villain.
Full villain. You'd be like weaker who?
Yes,
Yeah.
we grow strong. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you know, like truly, as opposed to holding myself accountable, holding others accountable, not even like in a way that's like I'm trying to like call them out for anything, but like holding up,
By just
yes.
your own, that's why I like when people like hold comedians to the fire
Hmm.
because we have got who said this? I think Gianmarco Soresi said this in his Vulture interview. He said there has to be a limit where you can't be called a comedian anymore. You're just a
Mm.
celebrity.
Yes.
Like you have to graduate out of comedian if you're X amount rich because
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
don't have the people's voice on your side.
You don't
You
have the
just
perspective.
you
You
don't
just can't have it.
understand. You don't you're
Yes.
not a groundling. You're
No.
not amongst us. So you're in your ivory tower telling us how to feel. That just feels like the same thing we're fighting against. So it's like live long enough to become the villain. That's it. And I really do understand that. And John Marco's joke was that like I can't wait to get there. Let's go. But
Yes.
like it is that like if you want to be a comedian, you have to kind of be amongst the people's voice. And then if you graduate out of that financially, just go do something else. Look at Eddie Murphy. He's not coming back and doing specials. Like he
Thank
just
you.
hello, he understands his plays
And he even tried because he was like, maybe this money might be enough. And he respected the game too
enough.
much.
That's a smart man.
That's a smart man because also he knows what is required.
Correct.
And then he
The
cannot,
work.
the work, and he
You
cannot do
can't
that
just
work.
vibe into a special, hun.
And he knows he can't because he's done the work before. He's tried it. And he knows that he's
Yes.
too goddamn famous and too fucking rich to be able to do this.
He got a four-picture deal at age 20.
And
Come
he said
on.
goodbye. He said goodbye.
Goodbye. And I really want that for comedians. Like, you and me too. If we get to a point where we exhaust everything we need to say by living amongst the earth and the struggle, I want to not do it anymore because I will no longer be relevant.
Kevin?
Have self awareness.
Kevin?
Kevin Hart, what the fuck are you going to talk about? Aziz Ansari, I'm a Diddy. The
But
fuck?
I mean, I will say Aziz, I feel like right now, maybe in a position where
He
he
might
can
have say
speak out.
something to say.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But I will say that at least with
But
Kevin, it's
even
like,
before
yeah.
he was canceled, what was he even talking about? Nothing. He
I
was
mean,
talking
yeah,
about
I mean,
celebrity meetings.
yes. But I mean, but right now, I do think I'm
Yeah.
very curious to see his
What he
hour. But
talks about. Yeah.
yes, but also with Kevin, it's like, yeah, you can literally do an hour for about 100 people in the world right now.
Truly. And they're all living in Saudi Arabia.
I mean, like some of them are like living on a yacht off of the coast of
Dubai. Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure they're maritime only laws. Like
Yeah.
they need to live in international waters because of their like, because of the laws they've
Yeah.
transgressed. But like, you know what I mean? There's like it's Bezos, it's
What
this.
are you
There's
talking
like
about?
100 people that you can really legitimately do an hour to where it's resonating, it's doing, and absolutely, if that's, I would say that like, yeah, I'm not gonna say that those people don't deserve to laugh, but I also do think those people also deserve to die. Like I'm just saying they should do all of it. They should be able to laugh, die, do all the things. that humans do,
Yeah, the full experience.
the full experience, and that
Yeah, but
you
get it off my screen. Go do it in the little corners of your secret societies, whatever you do.
do
Like I
do do it on it. Do it in the caves leading
yes.
into the Epstein Island for sure. Do it
Yeah, go
on
down to your billionaire bunkers where you'll be safe from the nukes. Like just leave us alone.
and do it for each other. You guys laugh together. You guys live together. You guys do it together. That is your community,
That's
right?
right.
That's your
Get in a
community.
circle and jerk each other.
Yes, this is your do it with each other and like
Yeah. Leave us
don't
to us.
it's how about this? It's none of our business.
None of
It's none of
we don't
it's not
we don't know her.
I don't know her.
I
I
don't know.
shouldn't know her. I'm not worthy enough to know her. Like it's you know what I mean? Like go be be your own community. Serve yourselves,
Serve
right?
yourselves.
And
Disappear.
I disappear. And I'm
Yeah.
saying that like with all love, right? Like
And
as a
all
fellow
due respect.
I'm
Correct.
just saying,
I'm just
like
saying. And the American art form that was born out of free speech has now clashed with the idea of unfettered capitalism, which is also American born. And these two beautiful American ideas are coming
together
to,
in the tiny package of Kevin Hart. And and all 5'4" of him, it
yeah.
is being contained.
Is he the Hollywood minstrel?
No, no, I don't think that. He's just like his ambition is so like that something about that it feels very American, that
Correct.
spirit, right?
Yes.
And like his optimism, all of it. Because he's very willingly the fool, right?
Yeah.
He's not like out here being like, I'm an authority. He's not Burr, for example, right? He's like,
He's small and he makes fun of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he is very willingly the fool in all of this.
Yeah.
But the ambition and like all of it is just like makes him such a perfect sort of
Yeah.
like he's encapsulates the dangers of both those things in such a perfect
Correct.
way.
Correct.
And
But
I do
he's
will
barely
say,
said anything. Yeah.
I mean, I love his specials, by the way. Like up
Kevin
until
Hart
the most
specials?
recent, yes. I've always like I like the fact that he's always been able to have fun
Yeah.
and be about himself. He's never shied away from his own flaws. He doesn't take on like a bunch of stuff. Like he's not putting himself in a position to be held accountable
Yeah.
outside of from his family, right? And his
Yeah. Yeah.
friends. He's not putting himself out there as an authority on anything but himself.
Yeah.
Respect, right?
Yeah. That's why I don't I just don't remember anything he says.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like, okay, you're making fun of yourself, which is great and
Yes.
entertaining. But yeah, that's why I don't put him on the Dave Chappelle level or
Yeah,
like
he's not
the
commenting on culture and anything. So I do absolutely like think that, but something that the fact that he only talks about it's his own journey, his own
mm,
self, and then this
mm,
unfettered, like, so it's both a very American, right? This ego of,
me. Hmm.
and then this access to unfettered capitalism of it all. Like,
Yes.
it's just, and so I will say that, he's in this like sort of unique position where I do feel for him. I just think that, honey, you need to go and do it for those 100 people. Like I know he wants to still be on stage, he wants to still perform, but also
Go away.
you're an EP on too many things. You don't need this, babe.
It would be nice if the Riyadh Comedy Festival just was a trap for all those comics and then they somehow lost all their passports and then
And they actually
and had to
build
build the
a
entertainment
comedy theater.
center.
Yeah,
Yes.
they build a comedy theater on the
Yeah.
dead bodies of everyone
Yes.
that's went
Of
there.
all the Qatari slaves. So then now they are becoming comedy slaves
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to the regime. And listen, they're a slave for comedy anyway. You might as well do it for the Crown Prince.
That's so fucked. That's so fucked up.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful week. And let us know where you stand on this Riyadh Comedy Festival thing, because even if you don't do comedy, we'd like your comments and
Hmm.
engagement. So let us know.
Absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Bye.